So welcome to Lake Placid. We are moments away from the start of the FIS Nordic Junior World Championships here in Lake Placid, New York, USA. Although it's nighttime, please enjoy these beautiful aerial videos of the Mackenzie Intervale Ski Jumping Complex. This is a newly remodeled venue and really excited to host the best juniors in the world, coming off of an incredible World Cup competition weekend. We saw some beautiful jumps this afternoon from the women's ski jumpers. Ingvild Synnøve Midtskogen coming away with the victory for Norway. We will see how the other nations compare with that. At the start today, we will have 4 U.S. jumpers: Henry Lohr, Bryce Clock, Jason Colby, and Tate France. It'll be exciting to see what do they show us, and of course how they can compare against the very best in the world and the reigning champion from last year, Stefan Embacher. I know that Tate France is going to have his family out again. They've been busy over the last 4 or 5 days, spending almost every day at the ski jumps cheering for the local hero. So it'll be exciting to see what they can show us now. I believe we will have our final 4 jumpers and then roll right into the competition. For reference, the trial round started from gate 15, and then close to the end of the round they moved down to 14 before finishing with the final 4 from gate number 13. So that will give us a little bit of reference as to where we end up starting now for the first round. For this jump we saw from Giga Jansar, 96.5 meters. Overall he ended up 3rd in the trial round, but again, trial is just a test opportunity to see if everything is running smoothly, and I believe we will have our final 4 jumpers before moving into tonight's competition. Again, 57 athletes at the start. Top 30 will advance to the second round. And here we go. So starting from gate 16, 1 up from the trial round. So this should be enough speed to see some great jumps. Kicking us off from Switzerland, Noah Studer. Nowhere to go but up for Noah, and a great start to us. Fist pumping, and I think that was his best. He had a jump of 79.5 meters. So an improvement on his trial round, and he seems pleased with that. Looking at the wind compensation, 0.4 points, so there's hardly any wind out there, and that means that we can move right along in this competition, and hopefully it goes as fair as possible. On the bar now, we have bib number 2. This is Riku Vartiainen from Finland. Tips hanging a little bit, trying to get out over that knoll, but really struggling. It shows this is a tricky hill, and for a lot of these athletes, these are some of their first jumps here in Lake Placid. And unfortunately for Riku, I think that might be the end of today's competition for him. Puts him into second place right now with a jump of 70.5 meters. Moving along to our next competitor from Kazakhstan. This is Daniil Badenko. He's waiting for the light to turn green. Looking at the graphic in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, there's a little bit of tailwind, so wind coming from behind. Unfortunately, this makes it a little bit more challenging to jump, and that's exactly why the jury reacted in going from gate 16 a little bit up from the start of the trial round. And remember, they are free to change the gate during the competition, and the athletes will be respectively compensated. But here we go on the hill now. This is Daniil Badenko. Late on the timing and really struggling to make it down the hill. Seems like Noah Studer from Switzerland will be happy to sit in the lead for another jumper. So third place for Daniil with a jump of 66 meters. Moving on to the next athlete, bib number 4 from Japan. Waiting for the green light now. And here's the green. And he has 10 seconds to jump. And here he comes. This is Taiyo Mori from Japan. Powerful from the takeoff and a lot more height than we've seen from the other athletes. That will be a good jump for him. And you can see quietly satisfied with that effort. Big jump of 86 meters for Taiyo. And that will clearly put him into the lead for now. That was a big improvement on his 83.5 meter trial round. So hopefully the trend continues. Our next athlete from Slovenia. Slovenians are known to be very good flyers. Unfortunately, on a normal hill, the takeoff is super critical. You need to produce enough power on the takeoff in order to fly. Because if you just move into your flight in tailwind conditions, you will land before you know it. All right, here we go. We have the green light, and here he comes. This is Nick Bergan-Smarnets from Slovenia. Ooh, and there you could see his tips hanging, but he tried to make something out of it. But you can see the disappointment is written all over his face. That was not the jump he was trying to have here in Lake Placid. He had an 86.5 meter jump in the trial round, so that sets him back quite a bit. 74.5 and into third place. On the bar now is our next athlete, bib number 6. He has the green light. And here he comes. This is Vasil Bohonko from Ukraine. See, his tips are also hanging, trying to be patient, but it seems to be some challenging wind conditions out there today. You can see right from the end of the takeoff, his skis were just not coming up right away, and he had to pause his whole jump and wait for them. Unfortunately, that is really going to hold him back. 73.5 meters and into fourth place for now. Taiyo Mori and that beautiful 86 meter jump still in the lead. At the top is his teammate. Let's see if he can dethrone the current leader. Waiting for the green light. So he's just taking his time, remembering what he needs to focus on for this jump. Trying to stay calm. You can see moving his skis around a little bit, making sure he still has feeling in his feet. And there's the green light, so he will be underway shortly. Here he comes, Ritsuta Sugiyama from Japan. Great looking takeoff, a lot of power, and flying down over that close to the K point. That'll be a pretty decent jump, but I don't think that'll be enough to take Taiyo out of the lead. Scores are coming in, and good-looking style puts him into second place. 80-meter jump for Ritsuta. Flashing across the top of my screen, already we're seeing a disqualification from the Finnish athlete due to his suit. However, we're on to Canada. Great to see Canadian representation on the junior world level. We've been missing the men in the World Cup. This is Benjamin Leachman. Solid effort for Ben trying to put in that telemark. And as you know, it's been a long journey for these Canadian jumpers. There are no real venues to train at, and they have to get a lot of their training in the summer overseas in Slovenia. So he's doing what he can. And that was a 69.5-meter effort into 6th place for now. On the bar now, bib number 9, Vitaly Druchkiv. Here he comes from Ukraine. Little bit of height, trying to carry it down the knoll, but it's tough conditions out here. And remember, they're skiing based on the best competitor today, so the speed might be a little bit conservative for him, but really giving it his best. 74 meters and into 6th place. The Ukrainians sticking together in 5th and 6th at the moment. Japan 1-2. Speaking of Japan, we have our next contender. Wind seems to have shifted a little bit according to the graphic. Here he comes, Saigo Sasaki. Managing to cut through the air at the top, but not getting enough distance. You really have to be confident when you don't feel a lot of reaction from your skis over the knoll. Just have to keep driving. Let's see where that puts him. 80.5 meters. And into 4th place. So about 1.2 points behind Noah Studer, currently in 3rd place. So we have Japan, Japan, Switzerland, Japan. Next athlete on the bar. This will be our first Italian athlete. Italy really working on their development program, especially ahead of the 2026 Winter Olympic Games. And here he comes. This is Maximilian Gartner. Solid effort for Max, keeping his upper body really low and getting height over the knoll. You can see that small fist pump. He's satisfied with that effort. 81.5 meters, and remember, that is actually the second longest jump that we've seen in this round. So that'll put Maximilian into 3rd place for the moment. Tayo and Ritsuta sitting in 1-2 still. Next athlete from Kazakhstan, Artyom Meshkov. Here he comes. Good power from the takeoff and flying down the hill, coming into that telemark landing. But there are a lot of competitors. It's going to be tight. In order to make that top 30, you need to really have a good jump, probably close to that K point. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that yet in this round. 74.5 meters puts him into 6th place. Now this is very exciting. In yesterday's opening ceremony, saw the Thai flag, and this is such a special treat for us here. Have a new nation on the Ski Jumping World Cup. This is Korawik Sunday from Thailand. Good looking jump for him, and you can see from those orange skis that's signature Finland. So that is where this young athlete learned to jump, and it's starting to pay off. Of course, it's a tough road if you're the only one competing for your nation, but I'm sure that with the Finnish jumpers, he's also learning a lot, and we're happy to have him here. 67 meters and into 12th place. On the bar now, Stefan Kiesel from Czechia. Here he comes. Trying to be confident, but not really getting much reaction from his skis. That's exactly the body language that he's showing us there. A little disappointed for that 72.5-meter jump. But the good thing is, in general, the wind compensation has been pretty similar for a lot of these athletes, so no one is getting truly unfair treatment right now. Just maybe not as nice as it was earlier today. All right, here comes the next athlete from Kazakhstan, Daniil Kalinkin. Good height. You could see he tried to close it a little bit with his shoulders. Instead of keeping the high line that he had from the takeoff, he just wanted to carry some more speed and totally crunched with his shoulders. 76 meters puts him into 6th place. Taiyo Mori with the 86-meter jump still in the lead. Next up, bib number 16 on the bar now. This is Filip Krenek from Czechia. Powerful takeoff and trying to make his way down the landing, but unfortunately the style is really important, and I feel like a lot of these athletes aren't prioritizing the telemark. And it's really going to be critical when they're trying to make the top 30. I'm sure that he felt he was far off, but getting a 13.5 makes it that much harder. Philip into 6th place. On to our first Norwegian of the round. Bib number 17, here he comes. This is Oddvar Gunnerud. A lot of arm action, but able to carry over, and I think he heard what I said about the telemark. He wanted to make sure to get those extra points, and we'll see if that will be enough to contend for the top 3. 79.5, so missing a little bit of distance, but depending, yep. So unfortunately his better style wasn't enough, puts him into 6th place right now. Getting a nice replay of that jump and the telemark. On the bar now, our first athlete from Germany. This is Jan Kuhlmann. Good looking jump for Jan. You could see very committed. His chin really pulling away from the hill. And in order to make the German team, it's pretty tough. Usually they come over with 5 athletes and someone needs to sit on the bench. So already to be competing in today's competition, that's an accomplishment. So an 83-meter ride for Jan and puts him into 2nd. 2.2 points back from the current leader, Taiyo Mori from Japan. Like I said about Canada, it's also great to see Sweden back in the mix. Sweden had a bit of a lull after the Falun World Championships, where their last male jumpers hung up their skis for a while. But here he comes. This is Rickard Nyström from Sweden. Good looking jump and solid telemark. But I don't think that will be enough for the 2nd round today. Good experience and good to have Sweden back on the circuit. 68-meter jump for Rickard. And down into 15th place for the moment. All right, another local boy. I talked a lot about Tate France, but let's not forget about Henry Lohr. He's from right down the road. Grew up jumping here, part of the NICEF program. Very talented all-around athlete. Here he comes, Henry Lohr from the U.S. Very solid jump for Henry. Little bobble on the landing, but I didn't know what to expect. Henry is a great flyer. He loves headwind conditions, so with this tailwind, I didn't know how he would be able to handle it. But that was a great jump for Henry. 88 meters, longest jump we've seen today, and that will put him into the lead. Looking back up the hill, we have our next competitor from France this time. Waiting for the green light. Here he comes. This is Faustin Moreau. Equally powerful from the takeoff and trying to soar down the hill. A decent effort, but not coming close to that distance that we just saw from Henry. 82 meters. So maybe with the telemark, could be enough to stay in the top 5. There he is into 4th place for Faustin. Solid effort. Great to see France also with larger numbers here. So maybe there's something to be said about this home field advantage. Henry Lohr definitely took advantage of that. And our next athlete, although he's competing for Canada, also has probably some of the most jumps on this hill. Here he comes. This is Mitchell Pennick from Canada. Mitchell doing his best today, but I don't know that that'll be enough for that second round. Great to see him competing. Mitchell spent a lot of time away from home, kind of relocated here to Lake Placid to get some more jumping in. And it's been a pretty good experience so far. Great to see him jumping under that Canadian flag. 74.5 meters and puts him into 13th place for now. Henry Lohr of the United States remains in the lead. On the bar now, our next athlete coming from Germany. His teammate Jan Kuhlmann currently in 3rd place. Let's see how he compares. The light is green. And here comes our next athlete, Alex Reiter from Germany. Very solid, very stable. That was some very good-looking jumping, very clean, looked very simple, and that's what's really important, especially when it's challenging conditions. Don't change anything, and just don't make any big movements. So that was a 86-meter jump, and although it was close to contending for the lead, 1.3 points back into 2nd place. Next athlete from Switzerland. He's on the bar. He's waiting. On the hill, conditions seem to be good. Here he comes. This is Marius Sieber from Switzerland. Marius aggressive, but unfortunately not paying off. On this hill, you can really see that a jump like we saw from Alex Reiter really works. Clean, powerful, and not moving at all in the air. I think that'll be tough for Marius. 78 meters puts him into 10th place for now. As we move along in the competition, hopefully we'll soon start to see our first qualified athletes. But next up from France, we have Anoki Pordaye. And we see another disqualification. Bib number 17. So this is based on suit, so that means something about his suit isn't fitting properly. Of course, for some of these junior athletes, it's pretty tricky. They're traveling a lot. I know it's been a long couple days out in the cold, walking up this ski jump, so stuff might not fit exactly perfect anymore, and unfortunately that has consequences. But here we go with the next athlete from France, Anoki. A good-looking jump for him. Now, this is one of those athletes that was a very, very talented junior skier. I remember him when he was maybe 12 or 13, and just beautiful style. And it's great to see him making this transition up into the big leagues, as they say. 77 meters and into 9th place. This is a name I would recommend remembering because I think he'll be around for a while. Great to see the talent from France coming through at the Junior World Championships here. But the next athlete will try to make some redemption for his teammate, disqualified at the bottom. So our next Norwegian athlete waiting for the green light. Here he comes. This is Mats Strandbraten. Good looking flight. Again, I'm seeing a lot of jumps around that, that 80, 85 meters, and look at the frustration in that. That's not what he wanted for today. Plus 6.5 points for win, so that means it's a little bit of tailwind and might feel bad for the athletes, and unfortunately puts him down into 4th place right now. So we have USA, Germany, Japan 1, 2, 3 at the moment. This is a name common that we know from ski jumping, but a different name. This is Fabian Ostwald. Fabian doing his best to fly for his country, and a great jump. I feel like the athletes have really been struggling, and Fabian just showed us there is some distance to be had out there. Coming down at 87 meters, so a meter short of the long ride from Henry Lohr, and puts him into 2nd place. Henry still in the lead. Current top 3, USA, Norway, Germany. But it's close. Next contender, bib number 28 at the top. This is Eli Karanen from Finland. Late on the timing. And it's just not going to be enough. It really is tough to make the top 30. And you just need to have a little bit more distance. He knows it. He's bummed about it. 78 meters for Eli. Decent style points, but puts him down into 13th place. And hello, sports fans. The first cue, Henry Lohr. We will see him in the next round. That's very relieving. It's nice to have that in the bag and be able to continue in peace. But here we go. At the top now, Romanian Mircea Stefan Jepescu waiting for the flag. Light is green. He has 10 seconds to go, waiting for his coach. And here we go. Struggling arms really holding him back. You could see it wasn't super comfortable. Said it before. Jumping in conditions like this is pretty tough. You don't get a lot of reaction from your skis. So unless you're super confident, it can really be tricky. 77.5 meters puts him into 14th place for now. So we see Fabian Ostwald from Norway also qualified. Another Canadian athlete on the bar now. Waiting for his coach. For the Canadian fans, it's been an exciting weekend. The women represented well in the World Cup, but here he is. This is Tarek van Wieren. Good looking jump for Tarek. Honestly, doing a great job. It's been a real challenging situation in Canada. I don't know if that's sarcastic, but I think that was a good jump for him. 77.5 meters. Decent judges' points and into 16th place for now Alex Reiter from Germany also qualifying. Now with Junior World Championships, since it isn't based on World Cup ranking, you can see a lot of mix-up in the start numbers. So just because you're earlier in the round doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't performing as well. But here comes the next athlete, Daniel Skarka from Czechia. Into that blue zone, but again, look at that reaction. He is not happy with that. He's wondering what went wrong. 81 meters. That puts him into 10th place behind Maximilian Gartner from Italy. And with that, we see Taiyo Mori from Japan sliding into qualification. Henry Lohr from the United States still in the lead. All right, next athlete on the hill, Ene Faletic from Slovenia. A lot of height, carrying it down close to that red line. Now, that is going to be a definite contender for the lead. 87.5 meters, so half a meter short of Henry Lohr's effort. But we have to wait for the wind and gate compensation to see where that puts him. Down into 4th place, 3.7 points back. Guaranteed qualified for the next round already, though, so that will be good for him. Henry Lohr still in the lead. Next athlete from Czechia, bib number 33, waiting on the bar. Has the green light, and here he comes. This is David Rigel from Czechia. Solid jump, kind of into that zone where it's getting close to qualifying. Currently, the last qualified athlete went 86 meters, so that'll be somewhere in the mix depending on how the wind and gate compensation points come in. And into 8th place, so he is 2 out from qualifying. Mats Stanbraten from Norway, happy to be qualified. Up next from Switzerland, sitting on the bar and getting ready to jump now. This is Felix Truns from Switzerland. Here he comes. Tips hanging and absolutely continuing. What I said about confidence, that was an incredible showing from Felix Truns. Would not recommend to do that at home. I mean, that is a terrifying feeling. You coming over the knoll, tips are absolutely hanging, but he kept going, and that was a jump of 85 meters. Currently into 10th place, so he's 3 out from qualifying at the moment. His teammate up at the top now, ready to take his chance. Here he comes. This is Yuri Caselli from Switzerland. Very wide V position, but flying it down the hill. That's the first fist pump we've seen, like, genuine today. He will be pleased with that, and if I'm not mistaken, that'll be our new leader. The biggest jump we've seen today, almost 5 meters advantage. Yuri Caselli from Switzerland, commanding lead, 10.9 points ahead of 2nd place, Henry Lohr. On the bar now, number 36. Here he comes. This is Robin Kloss from Germany. Robin also hunting for that K point. K is at 90 on this hill, so that's where the red line is. That was 88.5, so half a meter further than Henry Lohr, currently in 2nd place. Waiting for the points to come in, and 2nd place. 0.6 ahead of Henry, so it is close at the top. And it goes to show, as we're advancing through this bib order, it's getting very competitive. Next challenger, Odd Harald Svensingfjeld from Norway. And not enough height to get him down to that red zone. He knows it. You know, with countries like this, Norway, Germany, Austria, they're such competitive nations, and so to be able to compete here, you usually expect these athletes to be jumping at a pretty high level, and I think he expected the same for himself. Very disappointed. But that was good news for David Riegel from Germany, who has now qualified. His teammate sitting on the bar now. So he's sitting on the bar, waiting for the conditions to be good, moving around a little bit, staying calm. Here he comes. This is Max Unglaube from Germany. And the wait was worth it. A great looking ride for him. Also close to that K point. Coming down at 87 meters. So we've seen a few jumps around that. But enough to put him into second place. Combination of wind and good style points puts him ahead of his teammate Robin Kloss and Henry Lohr. Right, here we go at the top. Another contender from Finland. Seems that, especially in these conditions, a very strong takeoff is critical. Yuri Caselli from Switzerland still in the lead, 93.5 meter ride. But there are a lot of athletes left to come. And if that gets to 60, he has to get off the bar. So there it is, 60 seconds, and it's turned to red. Take a look at the current standings, and I'll remind you that right now, up until place 11 is qualified for the second round. So anybody below 11th place right now, they are still waiting in the wings, crossing their fingers that somebody makes a little mistake and they'll end up in the competition. So looking up the hill now, Finnish athlete, he's got a smile on his face, he's ready to compete, and here he comes. This is Tuomas Kinnunen from Finland. And it was worth it for sure. I mean, maybe that smile paid off. That was not very signature finish of him. Usually very stoic, but a beautiful 88 meter ride. Now let's wait to see what conditions he had. 0.6 points, so just like that, he's down into 7th. So that's kind of what's really making the difference right now. Some of the wind compensation points, it's really close. But on the bar now is our next athlete from Austria, bib number 40. Waiting for the green light. And what we've seen so far in this round is the waiting pays off. Usually the conditions get better, and here he comes. This is bib number 40, Niklas Hummel from Austria. Signature red and white suit. A great telemark landing. He is not letting anything pass him by in terms of style points. 87.5 meters. So half a meter short of that jump we just saw from Thomas. But look at that. Enough to put him into second place. That is where those 17s from the judges really pay off. 6.3 points back from the lead. Currently, Yuri Caselli from Switzerland in first, Niklas Hummel from Austria in second, and Max Unglaube in third from Germany. But that brings us to our next competitor, Niklas's teammate, bib number 41. Patiently waiting. The Austrians always sending such a strong team to Junior World Championships. Real depth at this age. Sometimes we see names that maybe we don't know as well, but they've definitely been competing on the Alpine Cup, competing all across Europe. A lot of these European athletes spend a lot of time together, but without further ado, here he comes, Lukas Hagen. Twitching the arm, a little bit of hesitation, but still getting the distance. He's not going to be pleased with that. You could see a little bit of uncertainty. Whether that was the weighting or what it was, I'm not sure. But a jump of 87 meters and right into third place. So we're seeing a lot of jumps, 87, 87 and a half, 88, and they're really all mixed up in the top 10. So it really goes quick. Next up, our first athlete that we're seeing from Estonia. We're used to seeing the one-man show on the World Cup, so great to see some more athletes coming up behind him on the junior level right now. To be 88 meters, here he comes, Kaimar Vagul from Estonia. Decent height. Flying into that blue zone, so that is the difference between making the second round or not. And I don't want to speak too soon, but Kaimar might be on the wrong side of the fence right now. Let's see. Scores coming in. Ooh, into 16th, so he's actually just one out. And Faustin from France, the one I told you to watch out for. That's not the one I told you to watch out for, but he is in 15th. Okay. First athlete from Slovakia. Here he comes, Hector Kapustik. Hector also power on the takeoff, flying down kind of in that 85 meter range. It's where it's going to get very tight. 86 meters. So let's see where that places him. Into 11th place. So Kaimar from Estonia still on the fence, waiting for one more. Next athlete from the United States. He'll be trying to chase down his teammate Henry Lohr. Here he comes. This is Bryce Klock from the United States. Bryce, good looking jump, but will it be enough? He's disappointed. Bryce has spent a lot of time training in Slovenia. Moved over there and you can see signature technique a little bit different, jumping on the Slatnar skis. Let's see where that puts Bryce. He's on his way out of here, but I'd like to see the scores come in. Jump of 80 and a half for Bryce. Puts him into 27th for the moment. Here comes the next athlete, Tuomas Mais from Finland. Good looking height and close to that K point. You can see athletes just jumping all over the hill. Some go left, some go right. But they're just trying to maximize the distance. You don't get different points based on where you land on the hill. Just about the distance points. So 87 and a half. And into 6th place ahead of Henry Lohr. Currently, Yuri Caselli from Switzerland still in the lead. Next contender on the hill, Urban Simnic from Slovenia. It's got height and over the K point. There we go. We've been waiting this whole competition, and he knows he just delivered big time. Obviously at the top, he doesn't know what everybody else is doing, but he is happy with that. 94 meters, longest jump we've seen today, and that puts him into the lead. He knows where the camera is. Scoped that out in training, and great to see that. So now we have Slovenia, Switzerland, Austria, 1, 2, 3. For our next challenger from Japan, Asahi Sakano. Here he comes. Smooth, also bringing the height, but coming down right before that K point. That's where we saw a lot of athletes landing in that 87, 88 meter zone. You can tell from the body language he's not sure if that was going to be enough. 88 meters and into 8th place. So that puts him right ahead of Henry Lohr. 0.2 points ahead of Henry. But remember, it takes 2 jumps in ski jumping, so as long as you make the top 30, there's still a lot that can happen in that second round. Next challenger from Poland, Kasper Tomasiak. Height, carrying it down the hill, close to that K point. The Polish athletes were struggling a little bit here on the large hill in the World Cup, so great to see the strong juniors picking up some slack. 90 meters for Kaspar, and into 3rd place, behind Yuri Caselli from Switzerland. Minus 1.4 points for wind compensation, so hardly anything out there, but maybe a touch of headwind. In other words, perfect conditions for jumping. We're still coming out of gate 16, so I'm hoping to see some more jumps over K. Next up, bib number 49, Simon Brinski from Poland. Stylish jumper, very calm in the air, very direct line, but missing a little bit of the power we saw from the top athletes in the field now. 84 meters, and I think that's going to be enough to slide him down the ranks quite quickly. Into 17th, so he still has another chance in the next round. And on to bib number 50. Here he comes from Austria. This is Simon Steinberger. Power, height, and carrying it down the hill. That was a great jump. He seems to still have some reservations, but I'm not sure what he's worried about. 95 meters. But again, I suppose if you're on the Austrian team, you really are hunting for the podium. His teammate Stefan Embacher still to come, last year's champion. But that puts Simon Steinberger into the lead. 95 meters in 1st place. Now this is an athlete we've come to know the name. Here he comes. This is Žiga Jansar from Slovenia. Missed the timing a little bit, but still carrying speed. Ooh, he's going to have some reserves for that second round. You can see it was like an okay jump, but he's definitely in good shape because you could see even with a mistake on the takeoff, he still managed to keep it moving. And when you're in good shape, that's how that works. No hesitation at all. Puts him into 2nd place. Tied, equal points with his teammate Urban. How exciting. Next up, here we come with bib number 52, Tomateusz Amilstich from Poland. Tips hanging, but trying to keep the speed and really getting stuck in that 85 to 90 meter range that seems to be very challenging to jump over. There it is, 85 meters. And let's see how he fares. Down to 19th. Still in the second round, though. So he's staying alive. Bib 53. One of the hopes for the Polish nation. Waiting for the green. Here it comes. And here he comes. This is Klemens Joniak from Poland. Height, carrying it over K with a telemark. Let's take a look at the judges' points. Remember, the long jump that we've seen was 95 meters from our current leader. So anything over 90 is pretty darn good. And that was 90 exactly, so puts him into 5th place, right behind Yuri Caselli from Switzerland. But I wish I could be in the crowd right now. I wish I could hear the fans. This has been a huge comeback story. Jason Colby from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Jason has been fighting hard to get to start here, and here he comes, Jason Colby. Got a lot of height, carrying, confident, telemark. That's what we want. That is where he needs to be, just in contention for that second round. Like I was saying before, Jason has been going through it. He was so strong at the start of the year. Then he had an unfortunate crash, breaking his collarbone, but somehow making it back in time for Junior World Championships and throwing down a beautiful jump. Let's just watch the replay. Look at how he keeps his skis really aligned well. Brings them up super smooth. And that was a very impressive effort. Puts him into 4th place. But we are moving right along. This is Ilya Mizarnik from Kazakhstan. There you can see a stylish jump, but not enough to contend for the lead. Jason currently sitting in 4th place. Let's see where that puts him. 87 meters. And into 9th. Two athletes left at the top. First to come. This is last year's champion. Here he comes. This is Stefan Embacher from Austria. Oh, he wasn't a champion for nothing. Beautiful ride. Oh my goodness. Over that looked like around 95 meters. 95 and a half. Furthest jump we've seen today. Half a meter ahead of his teammate. And he just nailed it. 18s from the judges. That is the consistency that we expected to see from Stefan. He's been in this position before. He knows what it's like. But this athlete has not. Last year was really tough for Tate. And this year he's coming for redemption. Here in Lake Placid, here in front of his home fans. They've been cheering all week long. And here's another competition. Here he comes, USA's Tate France. Flying over that beautiful jump for Tate. He's been very consistent and strong in training. There he goes, matching the longest jump and putting in that signature great telemark landing, rewarded from the judges. 18.5s and an 18 go into his final score. And just a hair ahead of Stefan Embacher, 0.3 points ahead of the Austrian. Tate France into the lead. Austria sitting in 2nd and 3rd. So USA, Austria, Slovenia, Slovenia, and Jason Colby from Steamboat Springs in 6th place. But look at the point spread. It is close, and it is still totally anybody's game. I mean, Tate and Stefan up there matching distance. Really just playing games. Henry Lohr from NICEF in 17th place. That is an incredible achievement for him. He doesn't have as much World Cup experience as Jason and Tate, so this is a really big accomplishment for him. And then going through, great to see Slovakia in there. We have Poland, Germany, Czechia, France, Estonia. This is a big improvement to see this amount of depth of nations in the top 30. Unfortunately for these athletes, 31 onwards, they will not be getting another chance today, but hopefully they'll be able to compete in some of the other team events, and they'll definitely be staying at the hill to see who's crowned today's champion. The Junior World Championships are a big deal, and there you can see at the bottom of the list 3 disqualifications today, so that should be noted. Means FIS is being very strict on the regulations, and just because this is a championship event, they are not going easy on the athletes. So that was a thrilling first round. We're going to have a short break, about 20 minutes, and meet back here. Great first round, and I don't know how this is going to end. It's really, really exciting stuff.
Section buckling again. Right here. What about right there? What's that? Put the seam. Yeah. Little cross there. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it needs some work. Yeah. We have to work on it. But I think it's got 30. It's got 30 skiers left in it. Yeah. 30 skiers. 30 part of it. Yeah, and you know the thing is it getting? I guess the question is it going to get warmer or colder? Well, it's going to get warmer tomorrow. It's going to get warmer tomorrow night, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, which I don't know if that's the worst thing in the track at all. No, neither do I.
If it's cold rain, it'll help.
Maybe I'll drop the track.
Exactly. Even if it fills in,
I think it might be okay.
Even if it fills these in a little bit, we can run that skin again.
I don't know if I do that. You don't want to risk it all.
Exactly. If you risk
You know what I mean?
the whole track goes, it's like...
So it would be nice if it would be an experiment if there was no big competition.
Right, exactly. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's late. It's March, and we're like, all right, let's see what some cold rain does. If we lose it, who cares?
But it's only going to go to like 35 tomorrow. It's not going to get really, really warm. Yeah. This is going to stay cold.
Right, because we need cool.
Yeah, you got a cooler system. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel bad. It's really rain cut for it. So it's not going to be good if you're
I
covering
guess
all this.
we'll just get, we'll get Evan and Nick's head in on it too, and see what they all want to do with it.
You know, it wouldn't be a weird thing, but that hot water on it with some kind of lamp.
Yeah. Because the rain shells really smooth it out too.
But it can almost wash it out.
Right.
It's so thin in the middle or in the grooves.
It is.
I'm really worried about. That's what I'm most worried about. Because it's thin. The freaking track is thinner than it should be. But and the only reason I say that is because we got
Got a lot of competition.
we got how many jumps are going to go on this tomorrow?
But that's
Just
what I
tomorrow.
want. They're going to be enough. They're going to have enough.
To make it till Sunday.
Right.
Because it's we got
A lot of jumps.
what
1,000 jumps.
more we got 1,000 more jumps. I think that we should maybe talk with Evan and Nick about it.
Here you can see the official start time for the second round, 13 past the hour wherever you are. For those of you staying up late, thank you very much for sticking with us. We're excited for the second round of action here in Lake Placid, New York. So see you back here in about 13 minutes.
Yeah, they have. I think they have that camera on.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, did see this one earlier. I was wanting to, because even in the middle here too.
Yeah, we gotta sharpen these up tonight. This one,
Yep.
that
This
one,
one.
and the other one.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would go up the track and look at the whole thing.
Yeah.
Casey, before you start, flush it.
Yeah. Because I kind of did that with this side, just trying to get as many as I could.
Yeah.
And then,
I would just flush wherever you put it.
this side didn't get as good as eyes.
Fall down the stairs. Roll a long way down. Leave it a little high enough. Now you
Really got the whole track, right?
Yeah, because we do not have enough time now. We're 10 minutes. Yeah. I'm going to go have a smoke and then we're going to start and warm up.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
We're glad that takeoff held up though.
Yeah, no.
Seems to have,
Can you do a quick sweep down now?
yeah.
Casey, from your clean out area,
Yeah.
just broom it down, and I think we'll be good to go.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
second place there. That's one to mention because we've got a pretty high level field here and we've got experience at the top level. We have 8 in position to take the title from him. A lot of him for the young American out of Lake Placid, New York. The one thing I noticed here
All right, sports fans, we are about 2 minutes away from the start of the second and final round of the FIS Nordic Junior World Championships. We are here in Lake Placid, New York, USA, and we are coming back from a thrilling first round. As it stands now, it is anybody's game. The far jumps were matched 95.5 meters by Tate France and Stefan Embacher, last year's champion. So it's going to be a truly thrilling final round, and anything can still happen. We're seeing the final 4 jumpers making sure that the hill is good to go. It's been a great day of ski jumping action here in Lake Placid. And again, about 1 minute away from the start of the second round. USA currently sitting in first and fourth place with Jason Colby. No, not fourth place, fourth furthest distance. Jason Colby a little bit further back in 6th place, but still great jump for him. Henry Lohr, the 3rd American, will also be in the middle of the second round. This was a great achievement for him. He showed us some great jumps in training, but great to deliver when it mattered here in Lake Placid at the Junior World Championships. Today is the individual event, the first competition here for these athletes. But moving along in the week, we will see some more team events, and of course the mixed team event, 2 men, 2 women. That's always a thrilling one to watch. Now you can take a look at the start list. Starting first will be the 30th place after the first round. Good to see France in there. Henry Lohr right there starting 14th. And there is your top 10 after the first round. We're seeing a lot of red and white, but good to see the red, white, and blue up in there too. So we are soon to start with our first competitor of the second round. Kaimar Vagul from Estonia just sneaking in. Great to see we're going to remain at gate number 16. So that's where we were for the entire first round. In the trial, we saw a little bit of movement. They ended the trial from 13. So 16, we should hopefully see a fair amount of jumps, hopefully over that 95 meter mark, getting close to that hill size 100. But starting us off now, bib number 42, Kaimar Vagul from Estonia. And a much better jump for him. He's going to wish he did that twice. 82 meters in the first round and a big improvement. 87.5 meters. Also being rewarded from the judges. Much better style points in that will, of course, put Kaimar into the lead for now. He'll enjoy time in the leader's chair, but let's see how long he can stay there. Heard I have some French fans out there. They will be cheering loudly for our next athlete on the bar now and getting ready to go. Here he comes. This is Faustin Moreau. Ooh, and coming up a little bit short. Unfortunately, we don't have that green to beat line, but that distance from Kaimar in the second round, 87.5, will be hard to beat. That was 80 meters and puts him into second place for now. Next athlete at the top now. Getting ready, waiting for the green light. Here it is. And he has 10 seconds to jump, leave the bar, and here he comes. This is David Riegel from Czechia. Carrying speed, but he really showed us that that first jump we saw was really exceptional. That was 81 meters for David. Looking at the wind compensation, not much to speak about. Only minus 1.5 points, so hardly anything out there. Puts David into second place for now. Kaimar still in the lead. All right, here is the first German athlete in the second round. We can hear there are fans here. They came all the way from Germany to cheer these athletes on. Here he comes, Jan Kuhlmann. Nice looking jump. Keeps the ski tips up and really flies in that second half. You could see very committed with his body language in the air. There at the bottom he's saying, oh, that was all right. 87 meters, so that is half a meter short of the long jump we've seen in the second round. And 0.9 points back from the lead into second place for Jan. Here comes our next athlete, bib number 26 from Norway, Mats Stanbraten. Mats looking down close to that mid-80s. And remember, in order to get to the lead, he needs to have a jump further than at least 87.5. Let's see what that does for him. 86 meters. And into second place, 0.2 back from the lead. So within 1 point are the top three right now. It is close. And this is where those telemarks really matter. The judging points are different this year, and the telemarks are really critical. But our next challenger is on the bar now. Here he comes. This is Szymon Briski from Poland. Aggressive angle. Carrying the speed and over that K point. Remember, K here is at 90 meters, hill size 100. You could see super confident on that and actually hitting K exactly 90 meters for Szymon and puts him into the lead with a commanding 12.1 points ahead of second place right now. Sounds like he'll be able to hold on to that for a second, but as we advance in the round, these athletes are ranked higher and will come in with more of an advantage. On the bar now, the next challenger, his teammate. Wonder if they had some words at the top to discuss what they were going to do, what special things this hill requires. Every jump has a few quirks. You have to learn them, and especially on Lake Placid, a lot of these athletes have never jumped here before. So they only had a few training jumps and then right into the competition. So he's up to 60 seconds available of yellow. If we get there, then he's going to have to move back off the bar. But it turns green at the last second. Here he comes. This is Timoteusz from Poland. Ooh. Ski's really pausing over the knoll. He is so disappointed. Oh, that's rough. So I don't know if it was his timing or what happened on that one, but his tips really were hanging as he came over the knoll, and he was not able to accelerate into the second half like we saw from the top athletes in this round. 82.5 and right down the rankings into 5th place. His teammate still in the lead. Next challenger. Coming with bib number 4. So he was pretty early in the round, obviously, and had a great 86-meter jump in the first round. Let's see what he can do now. Taiyo Mori from Japan. And a solid jump. Nothing spectacular. Definitely not matching the distance of his first jump. And given how close it is, he will also find himself sliding back in the rankings. And there it is, 82.5 and into 5th place. Here comes our first athlete from Slovakia on the bar now. Bar jump of this round, 90 meters. You can see top right of your screen to beat 87. Here he comes. This is Hector Kapustik from Slovakia. And not getting there. Ooh, this is hard. This is hard. Can't really blame it on the wind. There is definitely a little bit of tailwind. 4.3 points of plus points. And 83 meters. Luckily, he doesn't move back too far, so stays into 2nd place. Simon from Poland still in the lead. But next challenger coming from Slovenia. These guys are known as flyers, but if they get the takeoff, this could be a good match. Here he comes. This is Ene Faletic from Slovenia. And also missing the distance. That is too bad. 0.2 points for wind compensation, so it wasn't really the wind. 84 meters. And sliding down the rankings back 5 places into 6th place for the moment. Current top 3, Poland, Slovakia, Estonia. Exciting trio. So our athlete, I remember, smiling after the first jump. Here he comes. This is Tuomas Kinnunen. Solid jump, getting close to that K point. He seems to be frustrated. 88 meters in the first round. And that was similar distance, 87.5, but he seemed to really be missing something out there. Overall, a solid jump for sure, and puts him into 2nd place for the moment. 5.9 points back from the lead. Our next jumper, here he comes. This is Germany's Alex Reiter. Alex with the height, flying over the K point. That is what he wants, and that is how you can climb your way up instead of falling down. He really used his height to his advantage, used the long levers, and pushed down, got the takeoff, and really got a lot of height over the knoll, and that's what let him fly down to that beautiful 90.5 meter jump into 1st place, 2.2 points ahead of second. There you can see the current standings. All right, next challenger from Norway. This is Fabian Osvald. Fabian doing his best, but not going to be enough. Coming up a little bit short. -1 points for wind compensation. 85.5 meters. So a little shorter than his first round. And that puts him into fourth. We are absolutely flying through this round, and we are already right to the halfway point. Next competitor from NYSEF, New York Ski Education Foundation. Here he comes. This is Henry Lohr, known for his huge jumps on this hill. Let's see what he can do. Another solid effort. Ooh, coming out a little bit early. Ooh, that's going to be tight. He had a really fantastic first round, 88 meters. That was a bit shorter, 85. And with that little hesitation, he might be docked a few points from the judges. Slides down into fifth, but honestly, a great day for Henry Lohr and Team USA. We are really impressed with that achievement today. Next up on the bar, from Japan, Asahi Sakano. Had an 88-meter jump in the first round. Let's see what he can do. Decent jump, but also not cracking that K point. It seems to be there's this distance between 85 and 90. It's just like sucks everybody in. That was a jump of 86 meters. Waves to the camera. He's excited to be here, and that's what's really important, especially at this level. The Junior World Championships are supposed to be a time to gain some experience, get to know your competitors, and overall have a great time. You get to travel, you get to be in cool places. For a lot of these athletes, it's probably the first time in the U.S. But here comes the next guy, Tuomas Mais from Finland. And a solid jump close to that K point. 86 meters. So we'll see how that puts him. We saw an 86-meter jump from Sakano before. He moved into third. Tuomas will be right around there and into third as well. So still in the lead. There you see, Reiter from Germany. Briski from Poland. Next German competitor, here he comes. This is Robin Kloos. Robin using his skills, his German power. That's what they're known for. But I'm not sure that's going to be enough to push his buddy out of the lead. 85 meters. Style points coming in well and into third place. 4.7 points back from the lead. So that is incredible. Second place is he's up 9 spots from the first round. That just shows how tight it is and how just having one good jump just isn't enough. 2 good jumps are really necessary at this level. So Germany currently sitting 1-3, and we have another German athlete on the bar. Getting ready, waiting for that green light. And here it is. Waiting for the coach's flag. Okay, here he comes. This is Max Unglaube from Germany. Good looking jump from Max. Also close to that K point. Committed to the telemark. He is not going to be giving away any points for free tonight. 88 meters. And let's see where that puts him. Also into third. The Polish athlete continues to climb. Up 10 spots from the first round. On the bar now, our next challenger from Austria. This is Lukas Hagen. Lukas, a little bit of hesitation over the knoll, but making it down the hill. You can see he felt like he left a little bit out there. 89 meters, 2-meter improvement for him from the first round. And is it enough? It's enough! Lukas Hagen takes the lead from Alex Reiter from Germany. 1 point ahead of the German competitor. So the top 3 right now, Austria, Germany, Poland. This guy, 87 meters, one of the furthest jumps. Ilya Mizernika. And has some height flying over that red zone. Okay, so the current leader, he only went 89. But his style was probably a little bit better. Let's see what this does for Ilya. We have to wait for the win points, and it's enough. Into first place, 1.4 points ahead. That will be a great result for Kazakhstan. It's really important to have these smaller nations climbing their way up the rankings, competing with the likes of the Austria, Germany, Norway, the nations that are typically so dominant. Which brings us to our next competitor, Austrian Nikolaus Hummel. That looked like a good jump. And a great jump. Might be the furthest we've seen in this round. 87.5 in the first round. Coming down at 90 meters. 17s from the judges. And Nikolaus Hummel into first place. 4.9 points ahead of Ilya from Kazakhstan. Right, next challenger, Kaspar Tomasiak from Poland. His teammate had that huge climb, 10 spots up from the first round. He's currently sitting in 5th. But Kaspar is going to be aiming for more. He has the green light, and here he comes. 90 meters in the first jump. We would love to see another ride over K. Keeping the speed in there. He delivers, absolutely delivers. 92 meters and a beautiful telemark, 17.5s. Probably some of the best style we've seen in the second round. And that will be your new leader. 230 points. 7.3 points ahead of second place. That was a definite statement, and I bet he can hold on to this for a second as we start nearing the top 10. All right, on the hill now, Clemens Joniak. Good-looking height, driving over the knoll, and that was a great jump. Another good telemark. We are really nearing the end of the competition, and this is where it's going to get so tight. At this point, these guys are all fighting for a podium. 93.5 meters. Clemens Joniak into the lead. The Polish fans they stuck around from the World Cup and are here cheering for these athletes. And that is your new leader. 4.1 points in the lead. All right, this is the top Swiss athlete. Here he comes, Yuri Caselli. Yuri with that signature huge flight and throwing down. That's 2 great jumps. Definitely inspired by his teammate Gregor Deschwanden, who has been making moves on the World Cup this season. Great to see Switzerland really making their marks not only on the World Cup, but here at the Junior World Championship. Yuri Caselli with the lead. His teammates are ecstatic. 9 points ahead of second place right now. But this next guy, you've got to watch out for him. He's got the home field advantage. Here he comes. This is Steamboat Springs' Jason Colby. Quick to the skis. Maybe missing a little bit of height. Ooh, that's going to be tight. 89.5. So like half a step back for Jason. 4th place for Jason Colby at the moment. Yuri Caselli is going to continue his mission. Overall, a great effort for Jason. We're proud to see him up here in contention. He had some jumps that really were amazing. But again, it's tight up here at the front. And the next athlete from Slovenia, Urban Simnic. Urban looking for that extra distance. But remember, Caselli from Switzerland, 96.5 meters. So that was 95. He got 118, 118.5. His teammates are very excited for him. That was very un-Slovenian of them. They should be used to these performances, but apparently this was a surprise for them. He is really, really excited, and that puts him into the lead for now. But that's not a podium yet, so they need to cool it. Got 3 athletes left at the top. Here he comes, Žiga Jančar from Slovenia. Oh, and another great jump. That could be close. Also didn't quite have the distance, 94 meters. But it all depends on the points. And you know what? At this point, we know one Slovenian's on the podium. Who's it going to be? And it's going to be Simnic, Žiga Jančar, back into 3rd place. And I might have spoken too soon. We have 3 left at the top now. So still no one guaranteed on the podium. Here we go. Simon Steinberger from Austria. Has the height. This is going to be far. Beautiful jump. Oh my goodness. He was not ready to let it be just Stefan Embacher's day. He came to compete. He came to Lake Placid, and he is very pleased with that jump. 97 meters. Furthest jump that we've seen in this round. And remember, he was sitting in 3rd after the first round. So that puts him guaranteed on the podium. Right now, we have Austria, Slovenia, Switzerland, 1, 2, 3, with 2 at the top. Stefan Embacher, last year's junior world champion, coming from 2nd place, attacking. Let's see what he can do. Carrying the speed. Beautiful jump and a landing for the textbooks. Scores are coming in 18.5. 18.5 from the judges. 96 meters. And remember, there was a hair separating him and Tate France in the first round. They went the same distance. But that scores are coming in. Stefan Embacher into the lead. A guaranteed silver medal and guaranteed bronze. But can he do it? Here it is. This is the local hero. I don't know if he's used to jumping at the very end of the round, but he has shown that he is a World Cup competitor. He's jumped under insane amounts of pressure this year. But he's at home. He can hear the crowd. He's on the bar, waiting for the flag. You can see him moving around a lot. I'm nervous. Can he do it? This is a big moment. Last year, we saw Eric Belshaw coming in 2nd at the Junior World Championships. That was a huge moment for Team USA. And now we're here. We're back at the top of the hill. We're ready to compete again. But the light turns green. Tate needs to get off the bar now. It's red. Okay. So down at the bottom, we have Stefan Embacher currently in the lead. He had a 96-meter jump. Steinberger from Austria, 97 meters, currently in 2nd place. Urban Simnic in 3rd. There you can see Embacher rushing over to that leader's chair. He wants to enjoy that as long as he can, but he knows there's still a man at the top. Now, I don't even want to know what's going through Tate's mind up there, but he's gained so much experience this past year. He knows what it's like to compete against the best in the world. He's had some fantastic jumps in the World Cup. There you can see the current standings. Jason Colby sliding into the top 10. Henry Lohr, 20th place right now. Okay, looking at the top of the hill now, looks like Tate just took his skis off, so I guess they're going to send a forerunner. Man, it's getting tight up there. You can see Tate just trying to stay loose. Once you've passed equipment control, you can't adjust any of your equipment. So if your suit doesn't feel like it's sitting right, doesn't matter. Here we can take a moment to review this jump from your current leader, Stefan Embacher. Pretty great flight and really rewarded for that landing. 55.5 judges' points, so that is big. He had plus 3 points for wind compensation, so that means challenging conditions. But let's be real, this is the Junior World Championships. The winner will be the best athlete on the hill today, so that's all we can ask for. A little bit of heightened suspense, I guess. It's good for everyone. Must be nice for the athletes at the bottom. They know who's guaranteed a medal, who isn't. Urban Simnic from Slovenia, currently in third, so he's still has a hope that something could happen. But Embacher and Steinberger guaranteed a medal. Looking up the hill now, we're getting a view of the wind meters. Not a lot of air out there, but it is moving down the hill. So that's the tailwind we spoke about before. But especially on this hill, we said that takeoff, powerful takeoff, is what really seals the deal. That's what we just saw from Embacher and Tate. Very strong technically. So if you see that stop sign, that means the wind is outside of the corridor, outside what's allowed for the competition. So even if the person controlling the light wants to switch it green, they can't. So I think we're waiting for that right now. From this angle, it's hard to tell what's going on up there. But I wonder who's in the crowd today supporting Tate. His grandma made the trip from California to be at the World Cup. It was an exciting time. She started collecting autographs from some of her favorite jumpers. I guess that's part of being part of the ski jumping family. You're spending, the late nights watching ski jumping. So for all of the fans over in Europe, thank you for staying up and thank you for staying with us. I swear we're only a few minutes away from seeing who will be this year's Junior World Champion. It's been an exciting day so far. We saw the women's competition conclude earlier. Over here on the men's side, we won't be seeing any Norwegians on the podium. That much I can tell you. Can't tell you who wins yet. But we will see. Very exciting actually on the women's side. While we're waiting, I'll just give you some information. Ingvild Synnøve Midtskogen took the win ahead of her teammate Ingrid Latte from Norway. Ingrid, excitingly enough, is a Nordic Combined skier, so great to see these Norwegians with the great crossover, so strong on both the jumping hill and the cross-country course. But before I get too involved, I'm looking up the hill and I see someone on the bar. Oh, and it seems to be a trial jumper, so let's all stay calm. He has the green light, and this is a trial jumper again. Don't worry. That means Tate is up there alone once again. You can see him now practicing his in-run, visualizing what he needs to do. He knows this hill. He hasn't really trained on it that much because they just renovated it a few years ago, and he's been spending a lot of the last, I don't know, 5-10 years in Norway, and it has really paid off. Even before this partnership, Tate really getting the experience in Norway. But guys, it is time. Tate France on the bar, final competitor in the second round. Let's see who will be the junior world champion today. Tate coming through the air, very strong, flying away, and a telemark. He has the distance. He doesn't know if it's his yet. Oh my goodness, 98.5 meters. Scores are coming in. Judge A with the 19. We'll take it. We'll take it. 18.5s from the other judges. Oh my gosh, and he has to wait for the scores to come in as teammates are out there. Jason Colby gathering around. Scores are coming in. Will it be enough? Here they come. Here they come. Oh my goodness. I am shocked. The crowd is shocked too. Tate France with the second place silver medal. And your champion today, Stefan Embacher from Austria, back-to-back victories. 0.4 points ahead of Tate France. Tate giving his competitor a hug. We love to see the sportsmanship. That's very important. Oh my god, I need a second to digest these results. That was crazy. Here you can see this is the final results. This is it. Here's your podium. Embacher, France, Steinberger, 1, 2, 3. Wow. Bierski from Poland up 10 places. That's great to see. And big congratulations to 21st place, Henry Lohr. Had a great first round jump. Second one, not quite as strong, but still great effort from all the athletes here today. Now the hill crew is already back out there, and we're going to stand by for the prize giving ceremony that will happen right at the bottom of the hill shortly. So please stick around. For those of you already on your way to bed, which I totally understand as it's very late for those of you tuning in from Europe, thank you for joining me. It's been Nina Lucy here in the booth today, and what an exciting competition there on the left of your screen. Top 5 distances. Tate France's 98.5 meter jump just wasn't enough, but what could he have done? I mean, style points were great, matching the top score, 55.5 points from the judges. I mean, between the two of them, Stefan Embacher and Tate France, it was so tight. And Steinberger from Austria also stepping up, fighting for that podium and coming out with the bronze. What an exciting day here in Lake Placid, New York. Here you can see, very excited to walk away with a big, big day for Austria. Now the top athletes will go through equipment control before the prize giving ceremony. I can't even imagine what Embacher was thinking about down at the bottom. He knew he had delivered a good jump, but I think he felt that he could have gone a little bit further. And yeah, definitely a tough, I mean, I guess it's not a tough day to get second place in the world, so we can't say it's that tough, but really, really great effort from Tate France, and great to keep that U.S. legacy alive after last year. Eric Belshaw with that historic second place. Great to see Tate also walking away with the silver today.